Make no mistake about it, people. This is amazing. Connor Bedard has just signed the most perfect contract imaginable, and it's brilliant news for Vancouver Canucks fans. Ladies and gentlemen, as we all thought, Connor Bedard was gonna get more money AAV-wise than some of the best players in the game today. Connor McDavid? Nah. Leon Draisaitl? Sorry, buddy. Connor Bedard has signed a 5-year contract extension worth $15 million a year. Now, we should be clear. This does not mean that Bedard is going to be the highest paid player in the league. That honor belongs to Leo Carlson, a guy that we just spent so much time talking about. He's going to be making $18 million a year. Dollar Bill Carell is making 17, and then Connor Bedard is making 15. Where Adam Fantilli goes with his contract negotiations, we'll see. But I have a hard time believing he's going to go down lower than, let's say, 13.5, where Jack Eichel is right now. Austin Matthews is at 13.25. McKinnon is at 12.6. These guys are approaching the end of their deals, and we are now in an era where young 21-year-old franchise-defining centers are getting 15 plus. Now, the dollar amount for Bedard, you can say, is a little bit low compared to what could have been available. Leo Carlson is making 18, well, then Connor Bedard should be making 20. Some may say. Connor Bedard, this most recent season, had 75 points in 69 games played. He has been held back by injuries throughout parts of the past 3 years, but as he has continued to develop and progress in Chicago, despite the fact that that team absolutely stinks, Connor Bedard has still found a way to improve his stock and show everybody that he is legit. Now, whether or not he's going to be coming into this 2026-2027 season, and whether or not he'll be able to show off some of the same skills is up for debate, considering the fact that he will be out until November with his injury. That's a problem for later in the year. That's not a now problem. What is a now problem, though, was the contract. The guy was an RFA. He needed to re-sign, and he gets that done here today. $15 million a year, 5-year deal until 2031. This is an amazing contract for the Vancouver Canucks, though, and I wanted to dive into why. Tash posted this. Hey, Connor Bedard is coming home to Vancouver. This new contract walks him straight to unrestricted free agency. This is the greatest moment in Canucks history since 2011. He is following the game plan perfectly. And then other replies are going out there and saying, hey, just like when the Canucks were going to win the lottery, then they didn't and he was going to pull a Lindros. Then he wasn't going to sign past his ELC. Ha ha ha. Obviously, crash dummy from their profile picture. They are a Blackhawks fan, and obviously they are pointing fingers at the fact that Canucks fans have always had these ideas in their brains like, oh yeah, Connor Bedard is going to be a Canuck one day. We just need to know how he's going to get there. He's like Odysseus. He's got to come back home somehow, and that might take 7 or 8, 9, 10 years. He's got to return home, man. He's got to return home and kill all the suitors. That's exactly what we are thinking with Connor Bedard and Macklin Celebrini, too. He needs a new contract, but we'll wait and see on him. The fact that San Jose is, like, legitimately good, it seems, probably makes it more difficult for Macklin Celebrini to come back home. It's like Calypso, drugging him back on her own island. Anyways, all Odyssey references aside, go watch the movie. Taj went out there with another tweet, get your Bedard Canucks jerseys ready. It is happening. I thought Bedard would have to settle for 6 years, but he said no. 5 years and I'm going home. Great work by the agent. Don't screw it up now, Francesco Aquilini. The funny part is, like, this entire this top superstar is going to go home narrative was never really a thing that we saw in the National Hockey League to a significant extent up until the John Tavares conundrum of about 10 years ago. That was like the first oh crap moment where a superstar guy actually did live up to all the hype and decide for himself, yeah, I'm not going to stick around where I am. I'm going home. Now, I get that it's the Maple Leafs and everything, but there were Maple Leafs coming home rumors for years. Oh, is Steven Stamkos going to go home? No, he stayed in Tampa Bay. Is Drew Doughty going to come home? No, he stuck around in LA. The first guy to really do it in the modern era was none other than John Tavares, because he just genuinely wanted to be a Maple Leaf. And I'm not using that as justification to say that Connor Bedard will become a Canuck one day, but I will say that it is possible. Him going all the way to 2031 and not a year beyond. Obviously, it sets the precedent that these young guys getting big dollars are not going to take long-term deals at 8 years. They're going to see if they can maximize their value because they believe that by the time 2031 comes around, they could re-up for a much higher dollar amount. It's the old Austin Matthews strategy. But for Connor Bedard, if the Chicago Blackhawks fail to advance past this sort of bottom of the barrel status, and Bedard is literally just chilling out, getting all these points, making all these things happen on the ice, but the team can't win anything, I'd say there is a pretty reasonable Dylan Larkin-esque path to departure from Chicago that may exist with Connor Bedard if it goes down that path. The Blackhawks have to suck. The Blackhawks have to show no real hope for the future, and Connor Bedard has to get frustrated with that, and Connor Bedard has to exercise his right to not extend from July 2030 up until July 2031. If that happens, all the puzzle pieces are in place for this guy to come back to the Vancouver Canucks and make an impact when he's 26 years old, and when Braden Coots and Novotny and Caleb Malhotra are on the team. You're going to have these good old CHL guys, and Connor Bedard could potentially be the next one. Oh boy, this is awesome. Now, let's talk about the actual player he is rather than projecting into the future. Jay Fresh posted this. Connor Bedard signed 5 years by $15 million by Chicago as an extremely skilled young forward. In addition to his ability as a passer, shooter, and puck handler, he added foot speed and motor this season and was on track for a monster year until an injury derailed it, and he wasn't the same after. Now, unfortunately, Bedard's number, his projected wins above replacement number, is 43%, so he's actually in the bottom half of the league. 90 percentile even-strength offensive player, 0% even-strength defensive player. That's a really tough number, but it's one that Bedard is technically used to. If you look at the chart on the bottom here, he has had 0 defensive even-strength metrics over the past few years, but it makes sense. He's not a defensive focusing player on the Chicago Blackhawks. He has to be the offensive driver on that team because who else is going to do it in Chicago? This guy almost has no room to think about the defensive side of the game because his team is so bad. Connor Bedard, he's just prolonging the agony for 5 more years. Jay Fresh goes out there and says all the pieces are there for Bedard to explode as an elite player. He needs to stay healthy and for the environment to support him better. Even his defensive engagement improved early in the season. He's been on an island and dealt with it impressively, but there is much more to come. So with all that said, much more to come indeed. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Can Connor Bedard pull a Matt Damon and come back home to Vancouver after 5 long years in Chicago? I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.